Hey guys, it's Mo, and in today's video we're going to be talking about concealing and or correcting under eye circles. Now, under eye circles or discoloration can vary in the tone that it has or the color that it has, so there are different products to counteract those issues that you may have. In the video, I'm only showing I'm correcting in a sense, but I'm also concealing, but I'm only doing it for what I need. Now, I'll only be using drugstore products because that was the request, but I didn't have a drugstore product for the correcting aspect of it. You can get things like that from NYX Cosmetics, and this is the concealer in a jar in orange, and we'll speak about what orange can do for under eye circles. Now, no matter what color your under eye circles or discoloration is, you want to make sure before you start any application, make sure that the area is moisturized and primed. The priming portion is optional because there's some primers, you have to figure that out, but some primers are drying to the skin and you don't want your under eye area to be dry because that can cause wrinkles or premature wrinkles and lines under your eyes. Now, when you're concealing, only when you're concealing under your eyes, you want to make sure you go for if you have darkness, you want to make sure that you go for a color in the orange family. It can be a peach or orange, and just within those kind of colors, and you want it to be a warm color. You don't want it to be too cool or too bright. You want it to be warm so it can actually do the job of covering your darkness. You also want to make sure that it matches your skin, and if it doesn't match, make sure it's a color that's close enough to your skin so that there's not a huge difference in terms of the color from your under eye to the rest of your skin when you're finished with your application. Now, if you want to correct, there are certain colors that you can use for correcting. I'm going to use this palette. I got it from eBay, but it's the concealer corrector palette that you can get from Coastal Scents and I think BH Cosmetics. You can also pick up these corrector palettes from Graftobian, Ben Nye, or any of those stage makeup companies, and they're really affordable. Their price can range anywhere from about $8 or $5 upwards to about $25. Now, I'm gonna also show you this one. This one is from Makeup Forever, and this one is the one that's from places like Coastal Scents and eBay, so on and so forth. But since we're doing drugstore, I'm only gonna show you the one that is from the cheaper version. Since the colors are not showing up that well on that palette, we're gonna go ahead and use the Makeup Forever palette. Now, if you have redness under your eyes, you want to go for a green color because green will neutralize red, and that will correct the problem or neutralize it, and then you can go on to concealing. If you have brown darkness under your eyes, you want to go for orange or peach depending on your skin tone. If you're like my skin tone, you want to go for something more orange and warm. If you don't want to buy a corrector, what you can do is you can get a concealer that is more of an orange tone, not necessarily your skin tone, maybe a little darker but with more orange in it. That will do the trick justice. For lighter skin ladies, if you have any kind of veins, if you have green veins, you might want to go with something a little bit more in the pinky or reddish tone a color. If you have purple darkness or discoloration under your eyes, you want to go for a yellow corrector because that will neutralize the purple under your eyes, such as if you have a bruise or something like that. And when you are concealing, don't forget the inner portion, especially for us darker skin girls. Don't forget this portion right here, right on the inner and the outer portion of your eye. And when you are concealing, you don't want to put it all over. You might want to focus on where the darkness is. My darkness is from here to there, but it's not very dark, but you want to focus on where the darkness is because you don't want to overdo it or use too much product. It's best for you to use a brush because it lays the product better, and it's better to use a synthetic flat brush, something like this, and this is from EcoTools. Something like this would work much better because it can lay the product a little bit more without moving it around too much like your finger can. Synthetic brushes are also better because they don't absorb as much product as a natural bristle or your finger would. And don't forget the darkness on your upper lid. Go ahead and cover that with concealer or corrector as you like. The corrector I'm using is a bit dark for me, but I use it anyway because it has strong orange undertones and it is very warm, so I use it anyway. And you can see where it has corrected the darkness under my eyes. Now I'm going to apply a regular concealer, which is my skin tone, and I'm just going to apply that on top of the corrector because it has already dried, and I'm going to use my finger to kind of blend that out. And I'm not worried about it moving the corrector that I've already placed because, as I said, it's already dried and it won't budge. Now I'm taking it everywhere I put the corrector just to cover that orangey shade. You can use a fluffy brush to set the under eye concealer. It can tend to move the product around a bit, so you might want to go ahead and press or pat with a sponge. And when you're working on your under eyes, you don't want to do the pat and roll method because you don't want to have too much manipulation under your eye area because it's very sensitive under there. You just want to go in and pat the product or the translucent powder into the skin. That's pretty much it for covering and or correcting your under eye darkness or discoloration. If you have any other questions, let me know down there. And I hope this video was helpful, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Enough love, y'all.